Welcome to part 1 of the 5 deadly sins of the job search. This is Judy Adams of Right Changes, the affordable and successful job search coach. 100% of Right Changes personal coach clients who completed the program landed in jobs they wanted. 100%. Whether you are a recent graduate or an experienced worker, whether you're unemployed, misemployed, or underemployed, you have to ask yourself, have I committed any of the 5 deadly sins of the job search? Now, I've not always been a job search coach. In fact, I have over 30 years in information technology. Yes, I'm a geek. In 2001, following the dot-com bust, the telecom bust, the attacks of 9/11, and the stock market correction, I was out of a job. The week before Christmas 2001, the boss called me in and said, I hate to say this, but, and you know what comes next. Now, being in IT, I was used to putting on a blindfold, spinning around, and falling into a job. Since I lost my job the week before Christmas 2001, I didn't even start looking for a job until January 2002. But boy, was I surprised how the job market had changed when I was out there looking for my job. And remember, I was used to falling into a job. 8 months goes by before I landed my next job in IT. And in those 8 months, even in the 8th month, I was still learning things that would have been handy to know on day 1 of my job search. Now, I'm a process improvement kind of gal. I can stand in line at a fast food restaurant and think, if that person moved over there and this person moved over there, we'd be moving a whole lot faster. Do you do that too? So I thought that it's absurd that job seekers were having to piece together the information they needed to find a job. So in 2002, when I landed my IT job, I started volunteering at Crossroads Career Network. In the fall of 2008, I faced another job transition, and in 2009, I left IT to follow my passion to help job seekers, and that is when I launched Right Changes. In both my volunteer capacity, as well as while working with clients, I kept seeing job seekers making the same mistakes over and over again. And that's why I've put this program together, to help you not make those same mistakes. Now, we're going to cover the 5 deadly sins of the job search. This used to be called the 4 deadly sins, but I had to add one. Since there may be a job seeker center listening to this program, we will cover how to avoid them. At the end of this program, I have a special offer for you. So let's look at deadly sin number 1. Deadly sin number 1 is not understanding that the job market has changed and how it's different. Not understanding the job market has changed and how it is different. If you said, I have found a job before, I can do it again, and not researched how the job market has changed, then you have committed sin number 1. Going into the job market without understanding that it has changed is like being forced into a dark warehouse and being told the only way out is an exit on the other side. The warehouse is so dark you can't even see your hand in front of your face. You definitely can't see the exit. So how can you see where you're going, what obstacles are in the way, and how can you tell if you're making any progress? You can work as hard as you can, but you may be doing nothing more than going in circles. By understanding the new job market, we're going to turn the lights on in the warehouse. Now, is it a pretty place? No. Is it a place we want to spend a lot of time? No. No one has said it is fun. But with knowing how the job market is different, we can see where we're going, we can see the obstacles in the way and plan a way around them, and we can see if we're making any progress or not. Now, I'm the self-appointed queen of analogies. You will see me use a lot of analogies. Here's another one. I first lived in Atlanta in the late 1970s. That, of course, is before the invention of the GPS. But I purchased a map of the area so I could find my way around. Now, I was working for Sears at the time, and I was transferred to Chicago. Years later, I moved back to Atlanta. If I tried to use the map I bought in the late 70s to find my way around today, I might get there, but it would take a whole lot longer The street names have changed. They've built new roadways and new communities have popped up. If you are using the old approach to finding a job, it will take you a lot longer to find that job. It's like using an out-of-date map. I want you to understand how the job market has changed and how to successfully navigate in it. My analogy for comparing how the job market has changed over time is comparing it to how the home phone has changed over time. Do you remember the old rotary dial phone? Maybe you've seen it on TV or at your grandparents' house. I'll let you get away with saying that. On Leave It to Beaver, it was at the bottom of the stairs. In Lassie, it was in the kitchen. There was one phone in the entire house, and it was hardwired into the wall. If you watch any old black and white movies and gangsters break in and they want to disconnect the phone, they yank it from the wall. It leaves a big hole in the wall. That is the analogy for the job market of yesteryear. Now, most of us are familiar with the modular phone. I'm sure there's probably a modular plug in the room you're in. We're used to having multiple phones in a house and plugging them into a wall. We easily unplug them and move them and plug them in somewhere else. That is the analogy for the job market of yesterday. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't have a landline. Like many today, I just use cell phones that are not even plugged into a wall for service. We count on our network. That is the job market of today. So let's see how that compares to the job market. In the rotary dial phone, we had one phone. We also had one or two jobs and careers in a lifetime. My father's father was a carpenter. My mother's father was a farmer. My father was career Navy. One job their entire life. They would retire at 65. They got a gold watch. They would get a pension. Now, for younger people, a pension is when a company would continue to pay you after you retire in exchange for your dedicated service to the company. And you would have benefits for life. Everyone was a full-time employee, and all services were done in-house. So if a company needed a sign made, there would be an internal sign shop. And big companies meant job security. The expression, as GM, so goes the nation. Then we move to the job market that most of us are familiar with, the modular phone job market. We have up to 13 jobs in a lifetime, maybe even 4 careers. We're unplugging and plugging in somewhere else, and we work just as well there. We may not retire. Now, there's good news and bad news. The good news is we may not retire because we're living longer, healthier lives, and we want to keep our minds active. The bad news is that some of us may not retire because we can't afford to. There is no pension, and companies are cutting back on their 401k company contributions. Companies are outsourcing non-core functions and are moving to a more part-time and contract employees. And smaller companies mean job security, being a bigger fish in a smaller pond. However, that's the job market of yesterday. Our job market today is that we might work with, but not for, multiple companies. We'll work with them, but not for them. We're going to be responsible for our own retirement and benefits. As a baby boomer, I might not see Social Security as it exists today. I know the future generation will not see Social Security as it exists today. So we are responsible for our own retirement. I'm suggesting to young people when they graduate, go ahead and get your own term life insurance. For years, I paid into the company's group life plan because back then I expected to retire with them. When I left the company, I left without any insurance. Had I been paying into a term life program, I could have taken it with me. And the same with health care. Did you know that companies like Costco now offer personal health insurance? You can use the group buying power of a company like Costco to get affordable personal health insurance. And we may not be an employee. Instead, we may be a contract employee, or another term is 1099. A lot of us will be 1099 contract staff for the companies we work with. And job security is a personal responsibility. No industry, no company can assure you of job security. The good news is that it's within your control. It is within your own control. Just keep your skills, your abilities, your experience up so that they are in demand. You are not reliant on a company anymore for job security. So let's talk about how not to be a sinner and the right way to do it. First, accept that the job market has changed. A lot of discouraged workers started their job search by saying, "I've been able to find a job before, I can do it again." That is denying that the job market has changed. Look at your phone. Are you using the same phone you did the last time you looked for a job? Second, know how to navigate in it. Notice I have a GPS. So use the new ways to navigate in the job market so you'll get the job a whole lot faster. Okay, let's look at job sin number 2.